All right, you guys, welcome back to your new coach training and orientation. I'm here to talk about why it's so important to track your business activities and why it's so important to work from a list. The number one reason is that as soon as possible, you want to start treating this like a business. Remember, you are an entrepreneur. You are a business owner now. And the more you start acting as if, the more you'll get the results of a business and not just a hobby. So I'm going to talk about some different ways that I track and that you could track, and the different ways to organize your list and different types of lists in this video. So you probably want to take some notes on ideas for what sounds good to you to try, especially if you're brand new and you haven't tried any of these yet. I think a lot of us start out with just plain old pen and paper when we first get started. And, this is both in the sense of making a list of who you have talked to so far, who to follow up with, and who you want to talk to. But like, for example, if you put up a post and there's people commenting and liking it, then you want to take notes on who those people are so you can follow up with them and you don't have to always go back to the post to see, right? So pretty early on, I started using an Excel spreadsheet, and that's still what I use actually. I am about to start using something called Teamzy, Teamzy. It's basically a CRM for those who might know that term, customer relationship management, right? But a lot of businesses use that for tracking customers, potential customers, and having a record of like how you first got connected to them and what your different interactions have been, if they participated in a program in the past. As your business starts to grow, you'll be really thankful that you have these systems because you're going to get a lot of people that you're working with and you're talking to, right? It won't be possible to really keep everyone straight after a while and to remember the last time you talked and what you talked about. So that is what the system does for you. So anyway, I'm moving from an Excel sheet into Teamzy. It's going to be a transition as I, little by little, enter new people in Teamzy and update the records of people who are already in, like you can import your Facebook friends list, and then Teamzy will tell you exactly, like if you said, okay, I want to reach out to this person again in 3 months because she said, I am not ready right now, but I want to get started in 3 months. Okay, then I can just mark it in Teamzy and I'll get a notification 3 months, okay, today, message her. Makes it really, really simple from what I've told, from what I've been told. A lot of coaches say it's completely transformed their business and made them so much more organized. So I am really excited, and this is not like an ad for Teamzy, but it was a CRM that was created by a former Beachbody coach. And so just from what I've heard from my friends, it's been a game changer for them and helped them get so much more done because they're not spending all this time trying to stay organized. So definitely something to check out at this point. They do have a 30-day free trial. I don't know if that will always be the case. So if you're watching this video and it's old, that may not still be true. But I haven't done the trial because I know once I get in there and try it out, I'm going to want to keep it. So I'm prepared to pay. I'm going to do it. But if you don't want to pay for something because you're not making money in your business yet, then Excel spreadsheet, Google Doc, or just pen and paper. But the most important thing is that you are tracking somehow. Another website that a lot of coaches have used, I don't know how many use it anymore, but Asana was really popular in the past. I actually use Asana for my to-do lists. You can do like a shared team to-do list with deadlines and assign tasks to different people. So that's really great. Like if you are creating a challenge group together, you can assign different duties to different people. That's what I use it for. Some people use it to track their customers, and you can try it out to see how you like it. To me, the notifications got to be just too many, and it wasn't easy to like, if I'm supposed to message someone today, but I decide, okay, I'm going to do that next week instead. It was taking me too much time to reset the notifications, and it just got out of hand, and I had to quit using it. But if you are super disciplined and you're not always rescheduling your tasks, like you do them when they come up, I think it could actually be good. You can tag, like you would make, instead of a task, it would be a person, and you can tag them different ways so you can then find everyone who is interested in like a more intense exercise program versus tag people who need something gentle. And then when a new program comes out, you know where in your list to look. So I kind of have different sheets within my Excel spreadsheet for that. So people who are interested in a yoga program in the past, when something new comes out or when I offer something in that area, then I have a ready-made list of people that I can reach out to and talk to them about it. Another system that has worked really well for a lot of coaches, and I've gotten into it a little bit, multiple different systems, right? But it's something called Google Streak. At this point, it is also free. It is an add-on that you install onto your Gmail. And it lets you, there's very lengthy tutorials, so I'm not going to go into how to use it here, but just know that it lets you create, and it's also a type of CRM, I think. I'm not the most tech-savvy person, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it's a system where you can kind of put people in different baskets. So if it's like someone you just met, then they're in one spot. And then if you say, okay, now I want to invite this person to a challenge group, then they're in another basket. And once you make the invitation, you're waiting to hear back from them, another basket. Then either you hear back or you follow up with them, you move them along in the system. But as you start getting large numbers of people, this can be a really nice way to stay organized. I've mostly used it so far for people that I have talked to about coaching, because people that I think will make amazing coaches on our team, I will just from time to time reach out to them, because that doesn't change. I still think they'd make amazing coaches, and I just keep on letting them know that every few months. Because things change in people's lives, right? So those are people I do not want to lose track of, have a separate email list just for them. And Google Streak has worked really well for me for that purpose. I haven't tried it as much for challenge groups, but I know some coaches use it for that too. So check out Google Streak, TeamZ, Asana, or Excel or pen and paper. Another tool that you could find really useful is Facebook lists. And now this is where, you can Google it, find a YouTube video, how to create a Facebook list. But essentially what this is, you create the name of the list, no one else can see it, and then it could be like new Facebook friends, February 2018. And then you just know that those are the new friends you added that you want to get to know over the next, month or two or three. And you have them all in one place. And as your friends list grows, it's just easier to click on that list, for kind of targeted time, and you can send them each a message, or you can just comment on their posts, but kind of people who you want to give a little more special attention, or if it's people who, again, your dream team of coaches, like the people I said are in my Google Streak, you could put them on a list too, and I actually did start one, but I haven't used it that much. But then if you click on the list, you're going to see a news feed of only those people. So you can see their posts and go down the list and engage and just see what they've been up to recently. So that also is a really useful tool. Of course, you want to have a record somewhere else of those people as well, including, when you last talked to them. So that's what TeamZ is useful for. So those two things can kind of work in harmony, I guess. And when you're starting out, it is a little overwhelming, but I also recommend experimenting with maybe even all of these tools, especially if you enjoy learning new things when it comes to computers, which is a skill I would recommend developing because it will really, really help you. Our business is on social media for the most part. Some people find clients and coaches in person, but the majority of us find the majority of our clients on social media. So you really want to experiment with new technologies and get comfortable, learning new things, finding video tutorials for things you don't know how to do, and just forging ahead and doing that. And so if you play with these tools, that's going to help you build that skill. So experiment with these tools, find out which ones work for you, which ones just feel the best to you in terms of keeping you organized. Okay. So then another one that I use, so the last tool or tracking system, I guess, you can view well, screenshots in general. I mean, this is not a very high tech, like as computer stuff goes. Just taking a screenshot of either, everyone who commented on your post, everyone who liked your post, everyone who viewed your Instagram story. That's mainly what I use it for. And then I can reach out and say, thanks for getting on my live video. Thanks for watching my story. And it's the entry point to a conversation. Go somewhere from there. But like on a night when I don't have time to reach out to everyone who viewed my story, I take a screenshot and I save it for later, and then I still have that list of those people, and I don't even have to take the time to write them all down. It's super fast. So screenshots, never forget. Very simple, very useful. Always look at analytics as well. This is part of being a business owner. So Facebook Insights, Instagram Insights. If you have an email list, you can look at who opened your email, what they clicked on. I don't look at all of these every day because I have other things to do. But if you do it occasionally, it can help you get insight. YouTube has it too. It can help you get insight and just analyze what's working, what's not, what times a day, what demographics. There's all kinds of information that you can find. What types of posts are the most successful, most popular by different measures. So use all of those analytics to help you understand what is clicking with your followers. Okay, so those are kind of systems of staying organized. And the last little bit that I want to address is tracking. Okay, so there's working from a list, which is making sure you have not just randomly reaching out to people, but being methodical about who you're reaching out to and why, right? Okay, so that's working from a list. Then tracking. So working from a list is like looking at the future of who you will reach out to. Tracking has to do with who you have reached out to and who you've been talking with. So in terms of tracking, I might, pretty much everyone in a given month who I'm having a conversation with where they are actually expressing interest in a program, and it's getting a little deeper than, just comment on my video. But if we're actually going back and forth in a conversation, answering questions, then I'll jot down a list to follow up with as the deadline to enroll in my challenge group is getting closer. Because people are busy, they forget, they mean to do it, and then the deadline passes and they're like, oh shoot, missed that opportunity. So it is my job to follow up with them and to remind them so they can participate if they want to. That's all it is. It's not about harassing people. It is polite to follow up with them and remind them that the deadline is approaching. It's helpful. So tracking the conversations that you have. Follow up is one purpose, but another reason that it's really important is that it helps you see areas where you may not be as strong as other areas. I was just at the New Leaders Conference in Los Angeles, and one of the things they said to us during one of the training sessions, I forget who said this, it might have been Michael Niemand, but who's one of the corporate executives anyway. Doesn't matter who said it, but he said, okay, attract, connect, invite. 3 key areas as a coach, right? You have to attract people on social media. You have to be able to connect with people, strike up conversation, get to know people, and then you have to be able to move it along to actually asking, are you interested in this program? Would you be interested in joining our team? So those are the 3 essentials: attract, connect, invite. Got to do all 3. But he said, every single coach at every level of the company, from the newest coach to the coach whose business is maybe going slower to the coach whose business is booming, every coach has one that they are less strong at. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means there's an area for improvement. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means there's, one thing that we're maybe not as naturally good at or we don't like as much that we just should work on developing a little more. So that's what tracking does for you, because it's very easy to, for instance, write a list of 20 people and say, oh, I'm going to invite them tomorrow. And then you never get around to it. And it feels like you accomplished something, but you never actually reached out to them and said, hey, I got this program coming up that I think could be really good for you based on what we talked about, right? You have to complete that step. You have to make the invitation. So that's one area. Or, if you're attracting people and then you're moving too quick to the invitation, you don't take time to connect. Or if you're great at connecting and inviting once you get people in your circle, but not as good at attracting them into the circle in the first place, right? And I've seen all three. So if you track, you can see, okay, this is how many new people I added to my network in the last month. Is it low? Is it high? Compared to other coaches, compared to your own record in the past, compared to what your upline is suggesting that you shoot for. You can track how many conversations you've got going on, how many new conversations you started each day. And again, just reference it against your own numbers, against numbers that you are hearing from your teammates. We're all tracking this. So it's not a competition necessarily, but in each of these areas, if you increase your numbers, you'll see results as long as you're also paying attention to quality, right? It doesn't mean just cutting and pasting the message like 500 times. Like that's not connecting. Okay, and then inviting. So tracking invites also is important. Tracking all of them is important. And then it just helps you look at everything in black and white and see, oh, it felt like I invited a lot of people this month, but I only invited 10. So maybe I should do a little more next month. That's the purpose of tracking, and it makes it easier to improve if you can see the areas where you need to improve, right? You won't know where you need to improve unless you're tracking. So those are the reasons to work from a list and to track. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I think hopefully I mentioned all the names of the tools clearly so you could understand them. But if any of it was unclear, definitely reach out to me and I can fill in the details. Thanks for watching.